Okay, so now we're recording. Now we can get back into it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, this is the Home Buyer Happy Hour for the new person I just entered. Just entered. Take a seat, get comfortable. We're going to get started right now. All right. So come on. Now my computer acting funny. Like, that's what we're doing today. What is the problem? That's what we're doing. Maybe it's not going to let me. Try this again. Okay, there we go. Okay, why are you here? You're here because you're a first-time home buyer. You're looking to be a first-time home buyer. You're clueless at the process, and you're really trying to get an understanding of how it works. Most people, when they look to purchase a home, the general focus is on pre-approval. So you generally work to prepare your credit so that you can get pre-approved for the loan, but you don't really look into the other parts of the process, and there's a lot to it, as you'll find out today. You're here because maybe you saw it on social media. It's like, oh, this is free, let me find out about this. Or you're already in the process and you'll be purchasing a home soon and you wanted to get educated, well, more educated about the process. So those are a few of the reasons why you would be here. If there are other reasons, feel free to share them in the chat. All right, I'm glad you're here. As I said, this is not your typical webinar. We're not going to be super formal here, chill conversation. I want you to feel open and able to share whatever questions you might have and participate, and feel free to interact with me. There will be an offer at the end. I would love to give everything for free all the time, but anybody who's in my Facebook group can tell you, I give away a lot for free, but I still have a business to run. So there will be an offer, but you have no obligation to take it. Feel free to snatch up all the free information you get before the offer comes. And then there will be 2 Amazon gift card giveaways at the end. So you have a little bit of incentive to stay to the end. But right now, I want you to just remember the code Happy Hour. Just remember it. That's all you need to do. I'll let you know what to do with it. So if you're still sitting here and you're wondering if this is for you, let's figure it out. So if you're still trying to figure out some things about the process, maybe you've seen some YouTube videos, you've seen some posts on Facebook. We know the infamous memes that tell you what to do with your money. I teach personal finance myself, and that's one thing I don't do with my students. I don't tell them what to do with their money. I give you information so you can make decisions based on your financial goals. That's my personal business model. You're here if you're struggling with getting prepared for purchasing a home. You don't know how much money you want to save for a down payment. You don't know what your credit score needs to be. You're just, you're struggling. Or you might be here because you're sick and tired of watching YouTube videos. You've watched videos, this person said do this one said do that. So you're really just trying to get some solid information from an actual person that you're talking to at that moment. Well, I'm bringing to you my years of experience, my experience from multiple successful real estate transactions, my experience from being a personal finance educator, and just personal finance is my life. And you can ask anybody who knows me. Seriously. And this is also here for you if you started the process, but you don't really know what you want to do next. So hopefully this training should give you enough information to help you decide what that next thing will be. And what I do, I swear, I'm going to share the steps to the home buying process, help you have a roadmap of what you need to do to get pre-approved. And I'm going to give you some great tips and tricks for your home search to help you have a better strategy when looking for your dream home. And lastly, of course, I promise I'll provide as much valuable information as I can within the next 45 minutes. So on that, I'm gonna take a sip. Feel free to do the same. All right, so you ready? If you're ready, go ahead, type I'm ready in the chat because we about to get into it. Okay, so this is what I need from you, because like I said, I would love to do everything for free, but I need something back from you. So I need you to eliminate all distractions. Grab a pen and paper so you can take notes. Be present for the next 45 minutes. And I'm not gonna lie, it might be a little bit more than that. But I need you to commit to consuming the strategies and information that I share with you. Like, just basically have an open mind. Nobody is 100% correct or wrong, but just be open to hearing things so that you can make the best decisions for you. And then stick around until the end so I can show you what to do with the code, of course. And then you get a chance to win the gift card. I mean, come on. Who am I? Because, you know, you're looking at me like, well, who are you? Like, why should I listen to you? Like, give me a reason. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. My name is Nia. I'm a speaker, author, certified financial education instructor, and real estate investor. I'm the owner of a company called Perspectives. And what Perspectives does is it's a personal finance education company. And we provide online resources and courses to help you go from struggled and stressed to empowered about money so that you can achieve your financial goals, which in this case is homeownership. I purchased my first home at 27, funded my undergrad education out of my own pocket. I'm a single mother to a soon-to-be 20-year-old. And if there anybody in here that's in my group, the Gold Diggers, they can let you know. I walk it like I talk it. If you're in the group, I actually shared step-by-step my own personal real estate investing journey. You just want to go in the group, go under topics, and then look for my REI journey, and you'll be able to find like step-by-step when I purchased my last property last year. So that's a lot about me. I started Perspectives because when I bought my first property, I really was not very knowledgeable about the home buying process. I ended up having to self-correct my own credit, you know, because previously in my former life, I mismanaged my finances, ran credit cards up, all type of things, had judgments I had to get removed, like you name it, I did it because I really just didn't know. So once I corrected it and was able to purchase my first home, I started getting questions from other people. And that made me know that we needed more personal finance information out there for us. And later on, I, you know, said, okay, well, I started a business teaching personal finance. But then when I got so many questions when I was purchasing my last property, and I would get inboxes galore as I was posting about that journey, I said, oh, well, maybe I need to focus more on home ownership and get this information out. So I'm very excited to use my street cred, skills, experience to help you get the results that you crave. So without further ado, here's my information. If you're looking for where you can find me on Facebook, it's the Coins Cache. Like I said, my Facebook group, the Gold Diggers community, my Instagram, I do have a YouTube, that's my website. And all day I drop gems. I post very regularly in my Gold Diggers group. I put regular information every day. I also have a free live training monthly where I bring in experts from different parts of the financial. Well, right now we're focusing on the home buying process. So I'm bringing different experts that are a part of that process, but there are no offers at the end of those trainings. They are literally 100% free trainings that I give live in my Facebook group every month, because my purpose, you know, yes, I have run a business and I want to make money, but my passion is to help us level up our finances. Like, we've been out here playing checkers. I want to help us play chess with our money. And I brought receipts. So you don't have to listen to me. You can listen to my students and see what my students have to say about me and about my different courses. So these are different. They're not all about the same thing. Some of them are about my book. Some of them are about my budgeting course. Some of them are about just, you know, listening to me throughout the years. They're different things, but it's one thing for me to get up here and tell you what I know, but I feel like it's better for me to let other people tell you. So I always provide receipts. All right, first thing first, these are the things we're going to talk about today. Seems like you're ready. We're going to talk about if you're ready to purchase a home, if you're ready to take that step. We're going to talk about getting pre-approved. This what you need to do to get pre-approved. We're going to talk about the actual home buying process, and then we're going to talk about your home search, because at the end of the day, my goal is not only to help you purchase the home, but help you stay in the home after purchase. So I'm going to step back just 1 second and see if anybody needs to be admitted, and then we're going to jump back into it. Okay. What is going on? Okay, there we go. Oh, see, look, I got somebody who needs to be admitted. That's why I wanted to check. Okay, so I'm gonna go right back to it. If my My computer has an attitude with me today, so bear with me. Okay. Just go back. All right, so these are the things we're going to talk about today. Moving right on. So the one important reason why I'm wanting to start these training and wanting to educate people, 1 out of every 200 homes will be foreclosed upon. And it's like, oh my God, is right, because to me, that's a lot. Like, I live in Chicago, and Chicago is a very populated city. So if 1 out of every 200 homes can be foreclosed upon, that's pretty huge. But there are steps you can take to help avoid that. And I feel like we don't. And a lot of times when we find ourselves in financial trouble with things, we choose to avoid them first before we choose to deal with them. So we'll get it in the mail and then we won't open it, as if us not opening it doesn't mean that we still owe it. Like, it's not going to go away. But I feel like that's our mental way of dealing with things. So I want to educate people on parts of foreclosure. And in the secret weapon, this program that I have, we actually have a specific session that half of it is focused on helping you avoid foreclosure, because it's a crazy process. But as I say, the legal foreclosure process generally can't start during the first 120 days after you're behind on your mortgage, which means that you still have time. That's what, 4 months? Yeah, 4 months that you have before the legal process starts, which means you will have a chance to help you save your home. So you want to be mindful of those things. The top 5 causes of foreclosure: medical reasons, adjustable rate loans. An adjustable rate loan means that your rate does not stay the same. So some rates are fixed, which means that's your rate when you start the loan, and that'll be your rate for the life of the loan. But an adjustable rate loan means that your rate adjusts based on the market and other factors, which means you might have a time that your loan jumps $1,000 in a short period of time. So that's huge. And that's one of the biggest reasons for the housing crash in 2008, because a lot of people were signing up for loans and had no idea that their interest rate was going to fluctuate like that, which it's insane, but that's what happened. So I feel if I can educate people and they can know, okay, no, I don't want an adjustable rate loan, I want a fixed rate. That's something right there that helps you not make costly mistakes. Divorce, of course, because you purchased a home based on 2 incomes and now it's only 1 income and that income can't float those bills. Unemployment, which is pretty self-explanatory, or credit card debt. You have too many financial obligations and you're basically being overwhelmed and you're not able to meet those financial obligations. All or nothing. And I put all or nothing because once your property enters foreclosure, they're not going to accept anything but the full amount to bring the loan current. You might find some programs in your neighborhood you want to look at that'll help you apply for loan modifications. Or, a lot of times the cities and governments, after the 2008 have created programs that'll assist you and they have loan modification. But the first step for you to do is be aware and know that you need to look for those programs. Okay. So, calm down. I just said that just to kind of let you educated. I wasn't trying to discourage anybody or scare them or anything like that. Again, this replay will also be available. So if you signed up through the link, then you can go and the replay will automatically be emailed to you. That's why I wanted to make sure I stopped and recorded. So, but just, believe you'll get there when you're meant to get there and not one moment sooner. So I just wanted to basically make you aware of foreclosure. So now I'm going to introduce to you my program, which is the secret weapon for home ownership. Now, this program is a 90-day program to help you secure your dream home, even if you're clueless about the process. So, raise your hand if you yourself are looking to purchase a home at this time. And if you are, wouldn't you love if you had your own home buying dream team? A home buying dream team that is not going to make a penny from your sale. From your purchase. They're not going to make any money based on whether you purchase or not. So they have no personal gain, which means they're going to help assist you and educate you. If you could go step by step through the process with a realtor, or, we'll talk about a little bit more about it later, but I just wanted to give you kind of a tidbit because I want to give you a chance so you can get it right the first time. And I want to help you avoid costly mistakes that most first-time home buyers make. So think about it. What if I told you that you had a chance to sit and talk with a realtor, mortgage broker, credit specialist, 2 home inspectors, and a personal finance educator, which is moi, of course. And their sole purpose was to educate you and assist you so you can finally purchase your dream home once and for all. If I gave you that option, would you take it? Okay. Well, if that's awesome, I think it's great that you know, people want to think about it, but I want to prove myself first. Like, I want to show you what I know and give you some information and show you how it'll be worth it. Because being a first-time home buyer, for one, is scary. As I keep saying, you make a lot of costly mistakes. A lot of times they depend on credit alone, which is good to help you get the property, but it won't help you stay in the property. Sometimes they forgo home inspections, which a home inspection generally is about $300 to $500. I highly recommend getting it every time. Even if you're buying a new construction, home, I still say get the inspection, because a lot of time builders, they cut corners because they're either trying to meet deadlines, they're trying to hurry up and get this up so they can move to the next property. So you'll be surprised how many errors that they created when they're going through it, or things that they cut. And so that's one of the reasons I brought 2 home inspectors into the secret weapon, because they're from 2 different markets, and they'll be able to share their experiences and differences coming from 2 different parts of the world, well, of the United States. You also don't want to be house poor. A lot of first-time home buyers, they purchase a house and they literally use all of their funds on hand to cover just getting into the house. So if they move into the house and their water heater breaks, then what? I said, what happens? So prime example, last year, I bought a property in November. When I had my home inspection, the inspector told me that my water heater was 9 years old, so it was well past the warranty, and it was making a clicking sound. And he said, usually if it's making that sound, it's on its way out. Now, this was November that I'm purchasing the property, so winter is coming. I'm gonna put a tenant in here. I don't wanna put a tenant in a property and the winter is coming and they have the chance for their water heater to go out. So right after I purchased it, one of the first repairs I made was I bought a brand new water heater and put it in there. So that's an unexpected expense that I now paid. So if I didn't have any money, basically that one emergency is going to derail my finances. And that's what starts that process to get people behind. So you want to ask yourself, are you ready? And of course, shameless plug, this is me in front of that investment property I was talking about. But you want to know your numbers. You thinking about if you're ready to purchase a home, you need to know your credit score. What is your debt to income ratio? Because these are the factors that the lender will be looking at. Your debt to income ratio is basically, just like it said, it's the amount of debt obligations you have compared to how much income you have. And normally the percentage they're looking for, it varies based on your lender, but it's about 36 to 43 is what I've seen as an average of how much they want you to have. Because think of it this way, if you yourself are willing to give somebody some money, if they already owe all these other people, what are the likelihood that they're going to pay you back? So that's what they're looking for. The lender wants to see how possible it is that you're going to pay them their money back. That's what they want to see. How much money do you have saved for a down payment or an emergency fund? These are the things you want to think about, because as we're going to go on further, the down payment is not all you have to pay for. You have other costs that you're going to have to pay for before you step one foot in that house. So saving for your down payment alone is just not going to be enough. You need to have an emergency so that you can have repairs. I call it a WTF fund, and it means exactly what it sounds like it means, because that's exactly the type of stuff that'll happen. You'll just be like, what the? You need to have a fund to cover those type of things. Then is it the right time? So what I mean by that is, how's your car looking? Is your car going to need to be replaced in a year or two? If it is, how are you going to finance a new car? Are you going to have to get a car note? If so, you need to be factoring that in your budget when you're determining how much house you need. You need to be factoring in, and plus, if you need to buy a car, you want to buy that car after you close, not before. Because if you buy it before, then they're going to add that to your debt to income ratio. And that's going to count against you when they're counting how much home you can afford and how much of a mortgage payment that you can afford. So those are reasons why you want to consider whatever major purchases you're thinking about. And that's something else we cover. The mortgage lender in the secret weapon, we cover the top 10 mistakes you make during underwriting, because during underwriting, they literally want want like you might as well mail your firstborn child. They want to know everything. They want to know where the money comes from, why it's coming there, who's sending it, everything. And they literally request the document so they can connect that everything is coming where it's supposed to come from. So if you have that major purchase, or even if you applied for credit, they're going to ask you about that inquiry. And then they're going to want to know, did any debt get created as a part of that inquiry? You're going to have to explain the inquiry, what it was for. And then you're going to have to let them know if any debt was created. If any debt was created, then you're going to have to send them the statement, even if it's not on your credit. And then they're going to add that figure in your debt to income ratio. Like, underwriting is serious. And like I said, you want to figure out how much house. And when I say how much house, I'm not talking about 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. I'm talking about how much house you can afford to pay. If you're currently paying this much money, when you're looking for a new house, you should be looking based on what house qualifies for this amount of mortgage. And normally you would speak with your lender about this. So you will let your lender know, okay, this is how much I can pay comfortably. They know what the rate is that you got approved for, or you got pre-approved for. So when you let them know, okay, this is how much I can afford to pay per month, they're going to let you know, okay, well, this is how much house you need to be looking for financially to make sure that you're comfortable in your house. And I know sometimes you want these really big houses, but sometimes you got to work up to it. You got to work up to it, because financially it does you no good to get a huge house. And guess what? You kicked out next year. We're looking for forever homes and dream homes. And who knows, maybe you move on from that home, rent it out, and you get another home, but you want to look for the long run. You want to leave your house on your terms, not them make you leave. So prime example of other costs that you have to pay. You have to pay inspection costs. You have to pay appraisal costs. And then when you get that first inspection, it's possible you might have to get other inspections. You might have to get a termite inspection, depending on the age of the house, the market you are in, because different markets have different types of pest problems that are prone to them. For example, in Cleveland, they still have a big lead presence. They still have a big lead. And that's one of the things I learned from the home inspector that's teaching in The Secret Weapon. If you see chip paint, chances are that paint under it has lead in it. So you're probably going to want to do a lead inspection so you can see the level of lead. So those are the type of things that's an additional test that has to be done, but guess who got to pay for it? The appraisal. Even though the bank controls the appraisal and the bank is the one who orders the appraisal, you get the bill for it. And then earnest money. When you first purchase a home, as soon as you put the offer in and the seller accepts your offer, you have to give them earnest money, which is usually about $1,000. So that means you have to have that money right there on hand. So just giving you an idea of some of the costs. And then I wanted to use this chart to show you. So FHA, the minimum credit score is about 580, but that also depends on your lender, because different lenders have different requirements. So that's another reason why you want to talk to a lender. Conventional loans 620 and up, but the higher your score, the better options you have as far as your interest rate, because like right down here, it says for conventional is 3%, but if you don't have a great credit score, then you might not get that 3% offer. And it also depends on the market and what's going on, but you get an idea, because if you're getting a $250,000 house and 3.5%, that's still almost $10,000 right there that you need to have saved up. So just trying to give you an idea of some realistic numbers so you can see what things look like. So if you know your house is more than that, and you know your interest rate is more than that, then you know you're going to need to save more for your down payment. Then you still need closing costs. And then you want to have an emergency fund. So these are the things you want to start preparing as you're getting in that process, because you want to purchase. So what this is a closing disclosure. I literally took a real closing disclosure of my own, and I made sure I redacted any personal information because I wanted to make sure I showed you, because this is not something that you really see when you're going through the home buying process. Of course, I do not have time to go through all of these fees and what they are and what's included in them. That is something that will be broken down in The Secret Weapon with the mortgage broker. She has about 25 years experience. She's very knowledgeable. She's been doing this for a while, and we will be going through the closing disclosure. Now, this form will be sent to you 3 days before closing, because you have to have 3 days to review it and then let the lender know that, yes, I still plan to proceed with this transaction, because you're still at no obligation to use that lender until you sign on the dotted line. That's something else you need to know. You're at no obligation to use that lender. You can change lenders throughout the process whenever you want to, and don't let anybody tell you different. You can change your lender. you can shop around for lenders. Like just because you go and you get a pre-approval from this lender has no bearing on you having to get the loan from them. And they're going to ask you several times throughout the process if you still want to continue this transaction with them. So just to give you some information, this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house. This house was $40,000. I did a conventional loan, so I put 20% down, which was $10,000. And then I did an escrow, which escrow means that the mortgage company holds an escrow account, which is just a bank account. And in that bank account, they hold enough money to pay your taxes and your insurance for you. So they hold enough money, they pay your taxes and insurance for you, and then they collect it every month with your mortgage, as opposed to you having to pay them yourself individually. And when you purchase a house, you have a choice. You can do escrow or you can do it individually on your own. But with FHA, I believe some loans, they require you to do it at escrow because they want to make sure that they're getting paid. I personally like it because you pay one thing and everything is paid. I just like it. And then you'll still get the bills from your property taxes. You'll still get the bill from the home insurance, but it'll say paid by third party, but they still have to send it, and, you know, full disclosure. But you can look all the way at the bottom in this second column. You will see my total closing cost was still $4,000 for a $40,000 home. So I had to have my $10,000 payment, and then I had this $3,967. So I did have some seller credits that I got from the seller, which basically means that he gave me money towards my transaction. That's something I don't want to get into, like, you know, how that happens. Sometimes it happens from repair amendments and different things like that, but it's getting too deep. We will explain all of that, like I say, in the secret weapon program, just to break down all those different things and explain what they mean and how they work and how they fit in the process. We're going to go through a full scenario of someone purchasing a home, and then we're going to like have some fun with it and throw loops in there just so you can see different scenarios that might happen while you're purchasing. So next, we're going to move on to pre-approval. Things to do while you're pre-approving. And this meme could not be no more true. It says, just in case, because it's fuzzy, it's like the underwriter is like, these pay stubs say Rob instead of Robert. This is not going to work. Like, this is the type of stuff your underwriter will come to you. They need things to be exactly right. They need things to match, like from one document to the next document to the next document. Like, they are underwriters, they are not well liked in the home buying process. Let me just say that. But you want to research your lender. Why I say research your lender? Because you don't want to pick somebody. Like, I'm going to say this probably multiple times today. There's no friendship in real estate, because at the end of the day, who's going to be the one who's going to be stuck paying the mortgage for 30 years? So you want to pick somebody who has your best interest at heart and that can get you what you want, that works best for you and your family. And sometimes you start that process early. So in my free home buying guide that I have, I tell people they need to start building their team. Even if you're at the beginning of the process, that's fine. Real estate is relationship based. So start working and learning and follow them on the social media and find what people you would like on your team based on how they do business, because honestly, that's what's going to be important. So take a small break. All right, so you want to seek a lender, like I say, before your home search. Remember, you have no obligations to work with them. Of course, you want to get your credit together, work on disputing whatever you need to dispute, making sure it's accurate information on there. The credit specialist will go through everything you need to do, how to dispute things. If you're in the Gold Diggers group, we are actually having a credit specialist do a free training tomorrow. So if you're working on your credit, you definitely want to join the Gold Digger group. With the link will be provided later. But we're doing a live trading session tomorrow, literally with the credit specialist. So you want to learn the terms and products, like how I spoke before about adjustable rate mortgage. So you got a balloon payment, prepayment penalty. Like, there are so many different terms that go along with home loans. You don't want to be signing a stack of paper like this high and you have no clue what anything it is that you're signing. So you want to start doing some research and just be more knowledgeable about the process. And then you want to shop around and compare. I don't know the exact amount of time. I believe it's 2 weeks that if you're searching for a home and you're shopping around with lenders, I can actually find out and I can shoot an email out to everybody. Or if somebody's interested, put it in the chat and I'll see it in the chat and then I'll send it to you directly. But there's a period of time that you can shop around with lenders. And since it's the same exact inquiry, you're shopping for a home, it won't negatively affect your credit. And that's the time you want to use to shop around with different lenders. And then you want to ask questions. And if you got somebody who don't want to answer your questions, then that's probably not somebody who want to work for you. And just an extra tidbit, research down payment assistance programs. So a lot of them did stop because of COVID. But some of them might be starting back up now that, you know, things are starting to get closer to normal. But all you simply do is go to Google, do a search, down payment assistance. You can put your city, you can put your county, you can put your neighborhood, you can just put down payment assistance programs, period, because Google usually, you know, will search based on the area that you're logged in. But those are just some tips to help you determine. So we're going to do a quick overview of the home buying process just to let you know how it goes. So let's just say you already fixed your credit. You got $25,000 sitting in the bank because you're balling and you got pre-approved. So you take the letter, the lender is going to send you a letter and tell you you've been pre-approved. You're pre-approved for this amount of money. They're going to tell you what the interest rate, which is only tentative, it's not in stone, but they're going to give you that. This is your money. That pre-approval is your money. You might as well be money, because what you're going to take that and you're going to go to your realtor and say, look, I can buy a house. What are we going to do? We buy the house. So then the realtor is going to start shopping with you. So what I suggest people do at this point in the game, which I'll probably share again, is set up alerts on Zillow, Trulia, realtor.com. Set up alerts so you can start looking at houses in your price range. For one, you can get to know what a good price for a house like that is, because you'll see the different ones. You can also start to learn what you like, what you don't like, things like that. So you begin a home search. Okay, bam, you found your house. This is your house right here on the picture. It's right there. It's all nice, looking sexy. You got money in it, because that money is the equity. That means equity means that you bought the house for a certain amount of money, but when it appraised for more than you're buying it for, which is obviously the situation you want to have. So you begin your home search, you find your home, you put in an offer. Once you put in the offer, the seller comes back, offer accepted. Get ready, because underwriting is I'm sorry, I keep saying that, but you won't understand. You literally fax your life away during, well, not fax, probably email now, but during underwriting. What you do is every 30 days, you want to keep sending your bank statements and your paychecks, because those documents will expire. Once those 30 days hit, they need new documents. So it's best if you're proactive and you send them already. Trust me, it'll help your process go by much smoother, and I'm sure they'll appreciate it too. So here we go with another document from an actual transaction. This document is, you see my sloppy cover up of personal info? This is your loan estimate. So this document is sent to you by the lender of what the estimate of your loan is going to be. This means you came back to the lender, you got an accepted offer, and what you want to send the lender back is a copy of your accepted offer, and then you want to send them either a picture, if possible, or if you did it electronically, proof of your earnest money. Because if you don't send it out, underwriting is going to ask for it later, because they need to connect the dots of where that money came from. So you want to send in a copy of your accepted offer and proof of your earnest money to your lender to let them know, hey, my offer was accepted. So then you're going to start the underwriting process, blah, blah, blah. You get your due diligence starts. And what your due diligence means is you get 10 days afterwards to get an appraisal completed and to get a home inspection or whatever inspections you want to do. You're basically completing your due diligence so you can confirm to the seller if yes, you want to buy this property. Because when they do an inspection, it's possible your home can fail inspection. That might need hefty repairs that you're not prepared. You were trying to buy a home that was move-in ready. You wasn't trying to replace any roofs. Or they might do an inspection and find out that they've replaced the roof, but they did a shoddy job. And instead of them actually repairing the roof, they put just shingles on top of the bad roof that you already had, which means that's just a Band-Aid, and that's going to mess up soon. And you're not trying to take on it, because a roof, you're looking at least over $10,000. That's over $10,000 expense, easy, walking into a property. So you might not be ready to do that kind of financial commitment, and you have the ability at that point to back out of that contract because you're like, no, this house is not what I thought it is. So that's why it's important for you to do your due diligence. It's also why it's important for you to do an inspection. So you come back, everything's good. You're still going to go with it. You start underwriting. They start requesting documents. They want to know this. They want to know that. Normally, a lot of times they'll ask you to have reserves. especially if it's an investment property, which basically means that you have money that's been seasoned, and seasoned means the amount of time that it's been sitting in your bank account without being touched. It means you kept this balance, because the goal of that is that's your emergency fund to them, that if you are financial hardship or anything happens, that's their security that they still can get their money. So when you get to that point and you're approaching closing, your lender is going to send you this document, which is a loan estimate. And if you see the first number, that 53,000, again, this was for that $40,000 loan. It's showing me how much my total payments are. So if I pay the exact payment as scheduled for 30 years, I'm going to end up paying 53,000. Now I paid, my loan was for 30,000 because I had a $10,000 payment. Remember? The home was 40,000. I put down 10,000, which means my actual loan that I asked from the bank was for $30,000. So that means I'm going to pay $23,000 more if I just pay my minimum payment each month, which is wild. So you can, of course, double up on payments. You can make your payments bi-weekly to minimize the amount of interest that you pay. Like, you can look up calculators to learn how it affects your loan if you pay this much more, all of those things to help close it. But this document is important because it gives you a big picture of what you're about to sign up for. And they have to disclose this to you. And then finally, you get to closing. And closing, that first sheet with the closing disclosure, that shows you all the fees you're going to pay at closing. Okay? So, we're going to take a break. You know, I know that's a lot to process. Still haven't barely touched the surface. There's still so much more stuff to the home buying process. I promise you. It is so much more. Does any of this information make you feel overwhelmed? Like, if you do, this is exactly why I created the secret weapon, because it's just so many different things to know, and I can't cram it all into this hour, but I think I'm doing okay. So if you have a lot of questions, you don't have any answers, that's another benefit of the secret weapon. So there are going to be 6 trainings in the secret weapon, and 2 days after each training, there'll be a strictly Q&A session. That Q&A session will be nothing but Q&A, no training, no presentation, open dialogue, conversation. And I'm only allowing 12 members per session. So that way it's more of an intimate background, and it makes sure that each person has enough opportunity to drop all the questions that they may have. And that I did that on purpose. I'm never going to allow it. At the most, I might let 15 people, but I will never go higher than that, just because I want to make sure it's intimate and everybody, if somebody wants to ask 10 questions, if 5 people want to ask 10 questions, I want them to have that ability to ask those questions, because that's the goal of the program. So you can get the answers that you need. Because here we go. Like I said, do you know that if you make a large deposit during underwriting, that you'll have to explain that deposit? Like, the first time I bought a house, my first home that I wanted, it failed inspection. So the home failed inspection, and then I had to request my earnest money. Remember I told you when you get your offer accepted, you have to turn in $1,000 earnest money. Normally it's in a cashier's check or a money order. It has to be certified funds. They usually don't really accept checks. So I had to get my earnest money back. Well, when I got my earnest money back, of course, the natural thing that I thought to do was deposit it into my bank. Well, when I went to purchase my second home, I had to explain to them where I got the money to actually pay the earnest money in the first place. Like, I'm not sending them my paychecks every 30 days, but they still had to have on record that I explained where I got that money. Like, that's how serious underwriting is. But the mortgage broker that we have in the secret weapon, she has about 25 years experience. And the reason why that's important, because you can have a mortgage lender and then you have a mortgage broker. And if you're familiar with a broker works with several different people. So this person works with several different lenders. She'll have different lenders. She can have knowledge about different lenders with different financial and credit situations. Again, in the program, there will be no pitches. It's just education, but this is just telling you where her information is coming from. She's worked with different lenders. So just because you might have different financial situations, or maybe your situation is not perfect, she'll be able to advise you and answer those questions, tell you what you do. Again, I hate to plug myself, but she did do a training in my group, the Gold Diggers community also. And I got several inboxes about how helpful she was. And she was able to answer those questions about people who do have issues, like maybe they filed bankruptcy or foreclosure, because there are time periods. If you filed bankruptcy or had a previous foreclosure, you cannot purchase within certain time periods based on which one of those situations affect you. So, but she'll go through the whole underwriting process also. So, I mean, I got to be honest, you don't have to be the wealthiest or have the best credit or even the highest salary to purchase a home. Because a lot of times I feel like we knock ourselves out of the equation, or we hold ourselves back because we tell ourselves we can't do things, or we tell ourselves we can't do this and can't do that. And we can, because 9 times out of 10, if we can pay rent, then we can get a house. But it's just a matter of what type of house, if that house fits us, if we want a house, because you do have some people who generally don't want to purchase a home, which is just fine. I actually, I saw a post today that somebody posted on social media that was like, if you got a Lexus and you rent, then what did it say? It said, if you got a Lexus, I can't remember what it is, but that's something I never do. I teach personal finance. Oh, here you go. If you have a landlord and a Lexus, you did it wrong. And it's like, how? Like, you count other people's money. Let them do them. You do you. And that's why I say, I'm not here to scold you. I'm here to help you get it right. And whatever right is for you. I don't give cookie cutter solutions. That's literally the model of my business. But wouldn't it be great to find out how you can become a homeowner based on your own personal situation, not based on some information you saw on the internet or on a meme somewhere, or somebody who's spitting stuff like that. And that was like a very prominent financial literacy teacher person that I follow. And I was like, really? So I screenshot it. I'm talking about it in the group tomorrow. Anyway, so the giveaway, if you, first of all, you got to be present at the end to win it. I got to open my social media so I can be ready to see who the people are. You have to follow me on YouTube, like my Facebook page, and then make a post on Facebook about the Homebuyer Happy Hour and tag my Facebook page. I know it's a lot. I give you all time. That's why I'm bringing it in here in the middle before I get to the end. And then use the hashtag Homebuyer Happy Hour. And you have to be present at the end to win a gift card. I'm giving away 2 gift cards. So I'll leave that up there just for a little while. Links should be getting dropped in the chat. So I'll give y'all a few seconds and I'll take me a nice little sip. Actually, oh, that looks nice. Give y'all a few seconds. All right, so hopefully I got that links dropped in the chat. We're gonna keep going. Okay, my computer got it added. There we go. So now we're gonna talk about the home search. But I want you to think about this quote first. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. And as with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. And this is important, especially right now, because right now we are in the middle of a seller's market. So there might be times where you put an offer on a house and your offer doesn't get accepted because they went with another offer that's higher. You might put an offer in and then get outbidded, which is kind of the same thing. You might find a house and then you take your emotions and you fall in love with that house and then you don't get the house. So that just means that that house wasn't for you. That does not mean that you get discouraged. I know, sometimes you might get frustrated, but all of that is okay. It's important to know, like I said, if you haven't found it yet, just keep looking. And then sometimes, you got to move to another time. So here we go. Shopping for a home. These are some tips and tricks to help you be better and find it. Again, be patient. Your forever home is yours and no one else's. So if you're looking at all these houses, you feel like you just can't find what you're looking for, keep looking. Take your time. Be patient. Don't be rushed. Don't be anxious. I know you feel like you've been through a long process to get to the point of getting pre-approved, and you feel like, pre-approvals can be renewed. They usually last about, I think, 90 days. The last lender I work with, their pre-approvals lasted 90 days. And then after that, you need to get another pre-approval. So make a list of your needs and wants. And what I mean by that is you want to make a list of what things you need in this house that you absolutely must have. Like maybe you have 2 children and you need both of them to have their own room. So you need to make sure you have at least 3 bedrooms. If you want an extra guest room, then you need to know how you have at least 4 bedrooms. Or maybe you need a 3-bedroom with a full basement, because then you can use that basement to turn it into what you want. These are the type of things you want to make a list of. So then you can let your lender know, because, not your lender, I'm sorry, your realtor know. So that your realtor, when they're looking for houses and they're that's sending you houses, because you can look yourself online, but once you engage with a realtor, they're going to be sending you emails of properties they see that match the criteria you give them. So how much better would it be if you knew exactly what you wanted by then, or at least had a good idea of what you wanted by then? Next, you want to shop based on what you can afford. And we talked about that before. Shop based on what you can afford. Don't go and jump out the window and sign yourself up for this huge mortgage, paying all this money, and you really can't afford to do anything, because a marriage is similar to a mortgage. They both start with M, but literally you're telling this lender, you're in sickness and in health, you're telling this lender, I'm sorry, in sickness and in health, good or bad, with job, without a job, for the next 30 years, I'm going to pay you this mortgage on time. So you want to make sure it's something you can afford. That's not going to stop you. You can't travel. You can't go somewhere. You can't afford to eat out for dinner. You can't afford to go hang with your friends. You're stuck in the house, and you bored in the house, and you're in the house bored because you signed up for this mortgage that you really can't afford to pay. That's not going to work. It might be okay for the first year or two, but trust me, somebody's going to end up in the hospital because somebody went crazy. It's just going to be all bad. Sign a short contract. So what I mean by sign a short contract is sometimes when you work with a realtor, they'll send you a contract to sign to say that you'll work exclusively with them. And you want to look at the timing on that contract, just because you might not vibe with that realtor. And if you don't vibe with them, you don't want to be locked into a contract with them and have to go through a problematic process to fire them. And you can fire your realtor. I fired a realtor before. Hell, I fired a realtor before. I fired a real estate attorney before. They all can go if they're not working in my best interest. And that's the attitude you want to have. But sometimes people don't know that you have those options. So that's why I'm here. So sign a short contract. Make sure that you vibe with that realtor, because if you sign a contract with them and then decide, oh, I don't want to work with them no more, and then you just go work with another realtor, do you know that they still get a commission off your sale because you had a contract binding with them, and that's a legal document? So make sure you exercise your rights. Maybe you don't sign a contract at all. That's all up to you, what you want to do. Whatever you sign, make sure you read it. And again, there are no friends in real estate, because neither one of them going to be in there helping you pay that mortgage when the mortgage company is sending the bill. Property taxes, all that stuff going to be in your name, not in your friends. So this is an example. I know everybody's been hearing right now we're in the middle of a huge seller's market. So I wanted to have a graphic to try to explain the difference between a buyer's market and a seller's market. And I thought this one was great. I know it's a little fuzzy, but it clearly identifies the difference. So the one on the left is a buyer's market, and it's a buyer's market because you have 3 individuals looking for a home, but you have 9 homes to choose from. So the supply of homes is much more than the demand for purchasing the homes. So those buyers it's like a kid in a candy store. They have a plethora of inventory that they can go and they can choose from. Now, when markets are in a buyer's market, they act different because the seller is more so at your disposal. When you're in a buyer's market, you can ask for more credits. You can ask the seller to pay your down payment or closing costs. Like, you can greatly reduce the amount of money that you have to put into the transaction of your own. Now, in a seller's market, which is what we are in right now, as you can see, there are 9 people looking for homes, but there are only 4 homes available. So it's like playing musical chairs. Obviously, some of those people are going to end up without homes. So it's a competition. So what happens in musical chairs when the music stops playing? You knock somebody out the way so you can get that seat, right? Well, that's what's going to happen when it comes to a seller's market. They're going to bid higher so that they can get that home over you because they want it. And sometimes people do it just for the sake of winning a bid because they're tired of putting in bids, and then they have buyer's remorse as soon as they get in the house because it's really not what they want. So that's why I keep over emphasizing, take your time, find the house that you want. The house that's meant for you is out there. If you didn't win the bid, that means that wasn't your house, that was somebody else's house. And that's really what it is. It's like looking for a job. So, like I said, a seller's market right now, a lot of houses are getting more than what their asking price is. So my asking price is basically the amount that the seller is asking for the home. So if I'm selling a home and I'm asking for $200,000, a lot of sellers are receiving $230,000 offers for their $200,000 home. Homes are moving fast because, as you can see, there are many more people looking for homes than there are people selling homes right now. So homes are moving very fast. Like, it might be time to wait it out. That's the decision you have to make, and why it's important to have a great realtor. Yes, you will have a real estate attorney. Your real estate attorney will see over your transaction. I'm actually thinking about bringing in a real estate attorney for the secret weapon, just so they can advise you on your rights and then advise you about what rights you have during the foreclosure process. Because I feel like that will also be helpful information. If you guys want, oh, here we go. If you guys think I should add a real estate attorney to the secret weapon program, let me know. And if you guys say you want me to do it, I'll do it. Because the goal of all of this is to help educate people. So the last thing is appraisal gap. Now, this is important because I'm going to try to illustrate this with numbers. So just think, again, I have my house. I'm selling my house for $200,000. You did an appraisal on my house, and only you, the buyer, are privy to that appraisal. That's important to know. The seller and the seller's agent can ask for your appraisal, but you have no obligation to give it to them, because, again, you pay for that appraisal. So that appraisal is your property, your information, and honestly, never share it. Because think about it. If that house, like my house, I bought the house for 40, but it appraised for 50. So if I would have let him know it appraised for 50, he could have easily canceled our transaction and then went to go ask for $50,000 for that house. So you do not share your appraisal. That is your appraisal. It is yours. You pay for it. He won an appraisal. Let him go buy one. Let him go pay one. So the appraisal gap means that it's the gap between the appraisal and how much money you qualify for. This is a good note to make sure. Don't ask for something that's at the highest point of your pre-approval. So I'm going to give a whole quick little scenario. Okay, we go through pre-approval. Pre-approval approves you for $200,000. They approve you for $200,000. Bam, we do $2,000. Me, I'm selling the house for $2,000. But this person told me they'll pay me $220,000. So I'll let you know you want the house really bad, so you bid now $230,000. Okay, bam, that looks sexy to me. So I accept your offer. Bam, I accept your offer. Now you're purchasing my house for $230,000. So you do your due diligence, you get your appraisal, get your inspection. Bam, the appraisal only came out to $215,000. So an important thing to note, a bank is not going to give you more money for a home than it appraised for, because that would not make sense. So if you got something, you got a phone, and this phone is tested to be worth $200, I'm not about to give you $500 for it. That don't make sense. So where are you going to get that extra $15,000? You just told me you was going to pay me $230, and now it only appraised for $215. You have to fill in that gap. That's not your responsibility, because you said you was giving me $230. So that's something and a reason to back out of the loan. You can say, I got to back out of the loan because I couldn't obtain financing. Or when it comes in lower, you can present it to the seller. They can lower the price based on the appraisal. But in this seller's market, they may not be as willing, because they might have somebody over here who got the money to fill the gap. And of course, they're going to go with more money. I mean, wouldn't you? So here's how it works, just to let you know. Oh, let me check to see if anybody tagged. Well, while I'm doing that. So this is the program. The program is called the Secret Weapon. And I call it the Secret Weapon because that's exactly what it is. It's a secret weapon to help arm you for home ownership. The program brings in experts from about every aspect of the home buying process to help assist you with crossing the finish line and basically help you overcome any inhibitions, or, maybe you've tried the home buying process before and you just stopped and gave up, or maybe you just have fears about the process or other shortcomings that you may have. So basically, in other words, the purpose of the program is we got your back. Okay. So I have to be honest. I'm not here to lie to you. It's not going to be quick and easy. You have to be willing to show the work. This is not a quick, we can get you pre-approved tomorrow. This is an educational piece that's basically you're signing your life away to make one of the hugest purchases probably in your life. So we're trying to help prepare you for that. So it's not going to be something that's quick and easy. It's going to take daily action, and not just any action. It's going to be necessary action that we need. So this is why I keep the session small and individual. I mean, let's be honest. We spend money doing all type of things all the time. So I want to make sure that when you're spending that money, you do it wisely. You're signing up to spend a lot of money. So you want to make sure that you're educated. You can't come to expect it to be quick. It's not a quick process. But after the secret weapon program, you never have to wonder, like, oh, am I ready to purchase? What do I need to do to be purchased? You will know that front and back, and you won't need to know that again. You'll know that from then on. You'll get answers for whatever questions you have about the home buying process. That's why I'm bringing in experts, and I'm not teaching all the classes myself, because only a fool knows everything. So I'm not a lender. So you want questions about a lender, I'm going to bring in somebody who's experienced to handle those questions. And then you'll gain the tools and resources that you need to successfully complete the home buying process. So you got two choices, just two. You can do with this red or green pill. You live and you learn. Choice one, you keep trying to figure it out on your own and endure the struggles, mishaps, mistakes that come along with it. Choice two, of course, you can join us at the Secret Weapon to Home Ownership and walk away with a personal roadmap to your success. Basically, a personal home buying dream team in your corner, which is the purpose of what we want it to be. But you can sign up today. Doors do not open until May 1st. But of course, early offer, you get 15% off if you use the code Happy Hour. And you don't only get the 90-day program, you get a copy of my book, The 30-Day Money Challenge. You get a pre-approval checklist, which lists all the documents that you would need, whether you're self-employed or if you have a W-2 income. It basically lists all the documents you would need to submit to the lender to get pre-approved. A 10-minute workbook for you to be able to complete your budget, so you can identify how much house you can purchase. Also a budget planner that includes debt trackers, spending trackers, like all of the tools that you need to help you get your finances in order to prepare for home ownership. Because sometimes we might be having regular bills, we might be in the habit of paying our bills late. So maybe we need to start work on paying our bills on time first in a regular habit of doing that. So that's why I wanted to provide all these tools as extra. These are all things that normally cost money separately by themselves, but I'm throwing them in with the program along with the trainings, and there's only 12 spots available. Again, I want to keep it very small. I don't want to have it overflow with people, and I want to give individuals their ability to get the questions that they have answered. All right. This is also giving you a breakdown of what classes will actually be. So first month will be June, because that's when the program starts. First month, you do a detailed overview of the home buying process. Then you do a deep dive into home loans. Let's get credit ready, preparing your finances and avoiding foreclosure, breakdown of the home inspection process. And then you get a bonus training, which is basically comparing and giving you tips and information about the primary residence versus purchasing as an investment property. After each training, 2 days later, there'll be a Q&A segment. Again, small, intimate group. You'll have training, you'll be trained by experts in each field. And then you get a private community. In that private community, you'll get live sessions from me. You'll get kind of like, not coaching, but kind of, you know, in that area. That community will only be people who are in the program. And as you progress out the program, then you will be removed from the community and the new troop will come in, just so you know that it's an intimate space and it's a safe space. Because any space that I provide is a safe and judgment-free zone. Okay, now let's look at the winner. So just to remind you, for the winner, you need to have tagged me, well, followed my YouTube page, which will be provided in the chat, like me on Facebook, and then make a post on Facebook about Homebuyer Happy Hour, and then tag my Facebook page and use that hashtag. And you have to be present at the end to win. So let me see. Oh, and then, well, if anybody has any questions, now I'm going to go check in the chat to see the questions, because I can't see the questions while I'm presenting. So I go look and see if anybody has any questions. you guys can let me know. And let me know, did you learn anything today? Oh, let me see chats. Hold on. Sure. Yes, most definitely. Okay, did anybody learn anything today? You all have any questions? I hope I taught you something. I hope you walked out of here learning something that you didn't know when you came in. I learned a hell of a lot. Okay, good, good. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. I told you I try to cram as much information as I can. It's just so much to this process. And we usually don't learn on this. We normally just learn, oh, I need to get pre-approved. And it's like, okay, like what else? Like it's so much else to it. And that's why people end up having issues in their process. So that's good. That's what I want to hear, that you learned a lot. Oh, you learned a lot. Okay, good, good. That's what I want to hear. Like, it's like, do you have any questions? Anything that you guys like you need me to go back over? Because I know I was trying to put so much other stuff in there. And then as I thought about it, try to add different little tidbits of information, but nice, good, good, good. I'm glad you learned. Okay, good stuff. All right, and so I dropped my website in there. If anybody want to also go to my website, just see what's there to see what I'm about. She's dropping my website in there for me, and I appreciate the help because when I'm presenting, I cannot see. Like it doesn't allow me. I need to get dual screen so I can do that. Oh, good, good, good. Yeah, see, this is what I like to hear. I need to be screenshotting this. Thank you. Very informative. Hold on, let me go. Hold on. I'm learning to do better about getting it when people, I'm sorry, get messages. Okay. Save this. Move this out the way. So at this point, I'm going to stop the recording.